you know, Jared keeps saying over at SKA Network that ska never died, and that would be really bad for my "we play a combination of two dead genres" joke that I make everywhere we go. Be like 2008 metalcore and ska is like I don't know.
I mean, in all honesty, like what I was trying to say to Taylor when I was talking to him, that's surprising for me, you know, because I'm way younger than him. How old are you guys, by the way? Before I continue.
Oh, you're good. I'm 29.
Okay, word.
32, I think. I don't remember. Time is meaningless now. 32, I think.
Word. Yeah. So what I was trying to tell Taylor was I was born in 95. You know, I'm 25, so I missed that whole 90s ska thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Obviously, because I was a baby. And what I was trying to tell him, like, you know, I'm not trying to just sound like, you know, like you know, the airhead West Coast dude, but when I was coming up here in LA, like, ska was very alive, and it still is, like, super alive, you know, and it's not third wave that is alive, it's like skacore that's alive in LA.
Well, that's one of the cool things about this band that and like I know I kind of say the same thing whenever I talk about the band, but like they really pulled me in knowing nothing about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd just been like playing in like metalcore bands and emo bands forever, and like I couldn't believe how alive the ska scene was when I like our first like my first well, I guess my second show I played with Sorry Sweetheart was at this like mid-level theater called the Gothic downtown in Denver. We were opening for Five Iron Frenzy, who I'd never heard of because like I didn't listen to ska in high school, and I'm not I'm not a man of the cloth.
Yeah.
So I didn't, it was like two things I didn't really vibe with.
Got you. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, it's like weird that this band I've never heard of is playing this venue that like is like pretty reputable acts, but like I'm stoked to play. Like, let's go do the show. And like just the community that I met there, and all the Five Iron guys were like so cool and nice, and and then like the crowd was
guys, gals. Excuse me.
Guys and gals. I mean, that's I just like reposted some of their things, and they DM'd me. They're like, "Hey, thanks for reposting, man." And they like followed me like right after. I was like, "Hey." Yeah, they're the best, and I'm stoked I was stoked when they made when they dropped their little teaser announcement.
Yeah,
it's like that. Like we played with them twice now, and they were just like a lot of the times, like when we play with national or bigger acts, they don't hang out with us, which is fine. I'm not like as cool as like Less Than Jake is, and as much as we like it, and they were always nice to us, but it's not like they invited us into their main green room to like chill.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's how it goes. I'm not like, I don't expect that, but like when last time we played with Five Iron, they were just like, come on in, like we're hanging out, like we're talking, and like our horn player was just like goofing around with his trumpet around, like, and they were all like, just the whole community is like so alive and enthusiastic, and it blew me away. I had no idea. It's like like to the point, it's like, I guess it never has been dead. It's just that like people said that, and so it's like people that didn't care, that's just what they registered. So that was.
Can I tell you how I honestly feel about that too?
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping it real. I just think the people that say ska is dead is, I mean, again, with all due respect to them, it's what happens. I feel like when every generation like grows and the new generation comes on. Like, for example, for us, I don't know, maybe I like today's hip hop, but for a lot of people that I know that are my age are like, oh nah, man, 90s hip hop was the best. Everything
90s hip hop was all well and good, but like,
yeah.
I mean, this is Nate hit us up in the group messenger chat. He might log on here and we can have a lively discussion about it. But I'm a huge fan of today's hip hop. Like,
Me too. Yeah.
I thought like the XXL freshman class this year was great. You know, there's something for every mood in today's hip hop. You know, you can just listen to like, you can put on some like Young Boy NBA and go to the gym.
Yeah.
Where you can just like get super vibey and spaced out. You know, whatever. It's
yeah.
in a good spot
today. And so with that point, like you know, like for example, when 90s hip hop was new, that was looked at like with the same eye of disgust as like today's hip hop. You feel me? You know,
yeah.
Which is like, I just feel like that's what that is. You know, the whole SKA is dead because bands aren't necessarily like, you know, ripping off like the big bands that made it in the 90s. To them, it's not like the coolest anymore, you know? And it's just like a nostalgia thing, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's why I feel, honestly.
Well, I think a big part of it is just also is just like it sounds different than 90s ska. Like it sounds really different. Just like modern hip hop sounds way different than 90s hip hop is, but like like as a huge pop punk fan and enthusiast, pop punk hasn't really changed that much. Like there's bands that are still like, there's definitely like outlier bands and stuff, but like
ska is dead is kind of like weird because like even when we played with Real Big Fish, Aaron Barrett watched us play, like invited us out with him afterwards. Like the whole band was like jazzed to meet us.
Mostly Matt. Shout out to Matt from Real Big Fish.
Matt Appleton, who I think he's recording the Big D and the Kids Table record right now.
He's recording something on Instagram. I can't remember what it was. I saw the pictures though.
He's super rad to us, and he saw us play with Les and Jake when we played with them on New Year's.
Wait, he was there for that? Oh, I was sick. I had a gross burrito and stayed at the merch booth after our set for the whole time on the New Year's set.
That's about right. But yeah, like
yeah,
he's a super rad dude, and they, you know, so the whole band, like we sound relatively nothing like Real Big Fish, some, you know, with our like heavy metal stuff or like metalcore kind of stuff, but those dudes were like super chill, and a lot of some of those bigger bands actually like do, you know, even though they might not get it or something, but they're super cool to us. Like the dudes in Mustard Plug were like hella rad to us. The dude is in Voodoo Glow Skulls. Our first show was opening for Voodoo Glow Skulls.
Nice.
And those dudes were super, super cool. Assorted Jelly Beans played a one-off show here. Yeah. And those dudes like treated us super well. And, you know, Ricky Fitness from the Aquabats was the drummer from that band that I had no idea. And
before I was in the band, I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean they were all just like doing something out here because one of their members was getting married, so they decided to like play a show because they were all here. So, but yeah, like some of, you know, surprisingly a lot of big bands, like at least for me, like in my experience, like the interactions with bands that are kind of old curmudgeon-y dudes are really not that, even like one of the coolest experiences for me, like the band told me about this, like we were opening for the English Beat, and I was like sound checking my big loud metalcore guitar, and Dave Wakeling
JCM?
just like, no, what?
JCM?
No, well, I mean, just my big loud distortion guitar, like Dave Wakeling, the singer from and the guitar player from the English Beat, just like peered his head around the corner, and then like the rest of the band caught his eyes, and he just went like this, and then like disappeared. And so I was like, really? That happened? They were like, yes, that happened. So like all of, you know, despite a few like bad interactions with some bands that are just like, why can't it be 1999 again?
Yeah.
Most old bands are like super chill and actually like try to help us out as much as they can.
Also, most new bands have been super nice to us as well. Like I remember